Coach Coombs, 2005, Coach Coomba. Mike came to us as our pitching coach in 2005.
Well, about a week and a half into the season, our head coach had to leave. He had to go back and take a job commitment back in North Carolina. So
we promoted Mike Coombs to the head job.
Good to be here.
And hopefully you and the Newport Gulls will be able to take this team again to the LCS.
Let's hope so. Better. Or you won't see me here again. Don't let me go.
And he won the championship that year. And we haven't looked back since. He is simply the best summer college baseball coach in the NECBL history, certainly for the Newport Gulls. His success here in Newport is just unparalleled.
We couldn't get rid of him. We were stuck with him. So he was with us for probably 10 or 11 years and did a wonderful job with the kids and a wonderful job with the fans and the community. Loved having him around. Expected a lot from the kids, really worked them hard and taught them how to play the game the right way.
Mike would always remind me about coaching, and he'd always say to me, we're going to go one pitch, one out, one inning at a time.
One pitch, one out, one inning at a time.
And that's how he managed, and he was very successful at that. Didn't try to get too far ahead of himself. Was able to keep his players focused on what they're here for, to make them better players. And in the end, each one of those kids that played under Mike Coombs became a better baseball player and in life a better person. He had a huge influence over all those kids.
Mike Coombs, the skipper of the Newport Gulls. I first met Mike in 2005, 2006 when I was the pitching coach for the Danbury Westerners. During that time frame, I had a chance to watch Mike coach. I had a chance to coach against him. And every time we played against Mike, I circled that calendar and I knew it was going to be a great day, win or lose. In 2011, my dream of coaching at Newport came true. Some of the best years of my life. Mike is the kind of guy who brings out the best in people and knows how to deal with adversity. And most importantly, Mike knows how to win. Touching memories of coaching with Mike were before the game, where we were at home, we would go sit on the picnic benches outside. We'd have a Diet Coke and a hot dog and a Snickers, and we would try to map out the game and have a good plan to win.
Mike always found a way to lighten it up, to relate to the kids, to relate to the ball players. And you know, you talk about the generational thing, and you know, Mike was obviously older than these young guys, and he always found a way to relate to them and keep them focused. I could laugh and I could kind of, you know, give Mike a little zing here and there. And, you know, one of the stories with Mike was, you know, one day before a game, Mike was doing his pregame interview with Judge Bissell, and, you know, we were playing New Bedford. And one of the things with New Bedford back in those days was a thing called the Dunkin' Donuts Cup, you know, and it was a promo for Dunkin' Donuts, and everybody had, you know, their thing about what it was all about. Well, George asked Mike.
The Dunkin' Donuts Cup, the two teams, the Bay Sox and the Gulls, play a doubleheader today. What's the outlook here for the Gulls?
They're not worried about this donut cup or whatever it is. We're worried about the Fay Vincent Cup, and that's what we're playing for. We're not playing for no donut cup.
Well, Mike, I know you're going to be watching this, and I got to tell you, this is just for you. I found it. I actually found it. So this, Mike, is the Dunkin' Donuts Cup. And we're going to try to make sure that you get a chance to actually hold it. So here you go, Mike. The Dunkin' Donuts Cup, just for you, brother.
As a player, Mike was a catcher. He is fiery as they come. One of the memories, the best memories we have of Coach Coombs is when he gets fired up on the field, he's very passionate about what he does. Sometimes that passion gets him in trouble. And unfortunately, he's been tossed from a couple of games, but Mike is just passionate about being a great summer college baseball coach and helping the kids that he's coaching.
He had tremendous support for his own players, but when he felt one of our players had been the victim of a wrong call by an umpire, he was right out there on that field, showing his support.
And there were other times when the Gulls were down. When the Gulls were down a run, down a few runs, maybe having a bad game or one of the worst games of the season. And he'd get out there and he'd argue a call. He'd get himself ejected from the game. He'd fire up the team. And sure enough, a lot of those games, Newport either ended up winning or ended up being a catalyst for the rest of the season. Another thing I always used to do with Coach Coombs, we try to get him for the pregame show at every single game, the manager's show. Talk about the game, talk about the pitchers, talk about the opponent, talk about the setting at Cardines Field. And those are some of the best interviews I think I ever did in my entire career in the NCBL, because I learned so much about the game. Just talking to Coach Coombs and just asking him about strategy, asking him about his approach to the game, his approach to coaching these young collegiate athletes. They were some of the best moments of the summer because they really captured what summer baseball was all about.
Like I said, Mike's a winner, but also Mike is a great teacher of baseball, but also teaching young men how to grow up to be better young men and future leaders.
So what was it like every day to do the manager's show? Well, it was an experience. You never knew what you were going to get with Coach Coombs when he would step up to the microphone. You didn't know whether he'd be wearing a disguise, whether the shades would be on, whether he'd have a drink in his hand, a Starbucks. It was always a coffee. But you knew he was going to have some anecdote, and he would find a way to mess with you a little bit. And he'd say, you know, Coach, how are you going to rebound today? And he said, well, we need to box out. Obviously, the Gulls coming off a tough loss last night. What's it going to take to rebound here tonight against Old Orchard?
Beat them. If we beat them, then we'll rebound.
It's a pretty simple game plan.
Pretty simple game plan right there. We beat them, we rebound.
All right, let's talk.
Keep them out of the paint. We can rebound, and then we can beat them.
I like your outlook on this game.
No, the guys are swinging the bats great.
He just had a way of lightening the mood, and anytime it felt like things were tough, he had a way of using humor to get everybody back on track and to rally around. So Coach Coombs was kind of like the caretaker for everybody on the road. I hesitate to call him a babysitter, but you know, he made sure everybody was doing what they're supposed to be doing. Sometimes that even include our bus drivers, where you'd think Coach Coombs was asleep. He'd always sit in the front of the bus. You know, he'd have his feet up. He'd be sitting there. It's 3 a.m. We're coming back from Maine, and he would gently remind our bus driver that the light coming up ahead was red, and that he should, you know, maybe stop the bus.
A great players coach, understood we were all there for the same reason, and he made that clear from day one, which is you want to win, do our own thing as needed, but he was there to, you know, when he needed to step in, he was there. From, you know, he always had your back as a player, so you knew that was, you know, something you always look for, whether it was the injections he would tend to have.
And things are getting heated here at the ballpark. As it stands now, it is 8-4 New Bedford on top, but Coach Coombs is not happy. He is giving Cameron Haney an earful right now at home plate. He is furious, folks. And that is it. Coombs is out of here. And he wants more. Now he's getting his face. He's throwing Haney out. He's throwing Haney out of this ball game. Certainly he's going to stay in. I don't think he has the jurisdiction to do that, and in fact, I know he doesn't.
Or just stepping back and you know, sitting on the bench sometimes was more my favorite, just watching the way he watched the game and managed the talent and you know, helped us be the best versions of ourselves. I think my second year there, we were playing, and right around the end of the year, I was playing with an injury to my foot, and I remember him and I, you know, got into a little disagreement before the game. I wanted to play, and he had the better interest for me and the team at heart, and it was the right decision. I wasn't healthy enough to play, but you know, afterwards he hugged it out, and he was a great coach, great leader, and you know, made it, you know, someone you want to come back and play for. Coach Coombs, congratulations. You know, hope all is well, and enjoy the evening.
Congratulations on your Hall of Fame induction. Well deserved. You did a wonderful job for us all those years. You're a true friend of mine. Just can't thank you enough for all you've done for me, Mr. Coombs. Appreciate it, my friend. Thank you very much.